In today's episode, we visit with Fredrik Greenhoward on his journey from tearing his ACL in high school to junior college to Division I ball, but it's beyond that because this young man has so many aspirations. In the next 10 years, you're going to know exactly who this man is. Thank you so much to MND Drilling for sponsoring this podcast. Without your love and friendship, this show doesn't happen. Thank you, Kyle Golding, for the amazing podcast studio. And Marty Miss Lynch, thank you, Marty, for the song. We love it and we appreciate you.
I'm gonna stand, I won't be seated. Gonna hold my head up high and stay undefeated. Defining moments on this pod, 'cause I'm American by the grace of my good God.
Did your parents give you any advice before coming on the show today?
Yeah, they said they tried to tell me to really articulate what I was trying to get across and my points on things, as well as to not say anything that I would regret in the future or just say anything like off the wall, like the sky is green or anything like that.
Okay. But do you believe the sky is green?
No.
Okay, good. Fredrik Greenhoward, welcome to the podcast. Your name sounds like a law firm. It's not, but welcome to the show, man.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
I had to talk about leadership starting at home, and your parents gave you some solid advice. That's good stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you don't regret anything. People take snippets, hot takes.
Right.
You know how people do that
Yeah,
stuff.
exactly.
Yeah, it's kind of weak, actually. So, hey, real quick, man, how do you start your mornings?
So truthfully,
Yeah.
I have a, so I've got alarms set. And so like when I'm in school this past spring, we, before spring ball, we would have, I got 8 a.m. lifts, but then they added on, Tuesdays and Thursdays, we got 5 a.m. runs. So normally on my 8 a.m. lift days, I'd get up at 7. So I'd wake up, alarm would go off. Like, I don't want to get up. Then my second alarm would go off. I'm like, all right, time to start the day. And so I'd pull my phone out. I'd go to my daily Bible verse. I'd read my verse, and then I'd go to some worship music or some gospel music, and I'll hit play, put it on my dresser. I'll get up. I'll go brush my teeth, everything, eat my breakfast, and try and read. I got like this little booklet. It's a book that's goes through like the whole book of Psalms. Yeah. And like it's got one for every day. Yeah. And I'll try and read that and then close that. By that time, it's like 7:30, 7:35. My roommate will wake up and then we both get in the car and we go to the weights.
Okay. How much you benching nowadays?
245.
That's good, man.
I'm trying to get it up.
Yeah.
I'm almost in the 500-pound club on squat. Yeah. I'm like two reps away.
Right on, man. Yo, so you sound like you have your religion down in the mornings. One of the first things you start off with. Why don't you bless our podcast?
Yeah. Dear Heavenly Father, we come to you today mindful and grateful for the many blessings you bestowed upon us. Lord, we ask that you bless everyone listening to the podcast and that they're able to get something out of it and inspired. We ask that you allow us to preach your word and that you allow us to become better and become one with you, Lord. In Jesus Christ we pray. Amen.
Man, that's good stuff. How did you get your name Fredrik?
So originally I was supposed to be my dad. I have my dad's name. I was supposed to be Bryce Jr.
Okay.
And my mom said, that's not happening. There's too many juniors in the family. Like, that's not happening. That's not what we're going to do. And so then they got to thinking about it, and my mom wanted names that me and my sister, she wanted names that my grandparents in Sweden could pronounce. Right. And so I guess they came up with Fredrik, and it just stuck. Okay. But when I was growing up, my aunts, like my Aunt Diane, she'd always call me Fred. Well, and then my Aunt Rhonda would always call me Freda. And so then as I got older and older, people were like, what do I call you? And I was like, well, I go by Fredrik or Fred. Okay. And so then now like a lot of people where you could like, if you mention Fred or Fredrik, they'll recognize me by both of those names. Okay.
I was wondering because I didn't know if it was because soccer related, you know?
No, I don't think so.
Like your mom loves soccer and I'm surprised you're not named Zlatan.
Yeah, Zlatan. Yeah, exactly.
But hey, real quick, man, got some gifts for you.
Thank you.
Absolutely. That's the accounting firm. That's our logo. It's a lion. And feel like you're a tough guy, man.
Workout hoodie.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, that's perfect.
Yes, sir.
And then a shirt.
The shirt is red is our favorite color, and on Fridays we do Red Fridays. Remember everyone deployed.
Yeah,
So,
I like that.
Yeah.
I'll make sure to put this out on Twitter. I like that a lot, actually. It seems like people sometimes forget the people that paid so much
Yeah.
for what we got.
Absolutely, man.
And they got me a mug.
Yeah, man. Cup of freedom in it.
I got what kind of coffee do you drink?
Straight black.
Straight black, no
Yeah.
sugar?
No sugar.
I gotta put a little bit of sugar in mine.
Yeah.
But I like black coffee.
Okay. I also sometimes drink coffee with grass-fed butter and some
Really?
MCT oil and a little bit of stevia to sweeten it, and it tastes like a $10 latte from Starbucks, but it only cost me $1 to make it,
Yeah.
and I can drink a lot of them.
Does the butter make? Is give it the creamy taste?
Mm-hmm. And it's fat, so it keeps you full throughout the day.
That makes sense.
Yeah, I try to get your mom to have one. She's like, okay.
So not happening, huh?
Yeah. Dude, take us to your senior year, right? Your playoff game.
Mm-hmm.
Take us through that moment.
So this is a crazy story. So it's my senior year, and we're playing our rival schools. They're the number one in the district, and we're the underdog. It's Luther versus Jones. If you're from Luther or Jones, you know how big the rivalry. It goes back like 20 years. Like, it's big. We used to not be able to play each other because way back when they would get into fights.
Oh, wow.
So like, it's a serious rivalry, and it's funny because like, it's a rivalry on the field and on the basketball court, but then you could be friends like after the game.
Mm.
But so it's my senior year, and we're playing, and it's a close game. And it's a close game. We're going back and forth, and both teams are playing really, really well. And it like the crowd's in it, and it's just like the whole atmosphere. And then it's halftime. It's halftime, and we're down 6 points, and we get to return the ball. So we come out of halftime. They kick the ball off, and I'm the returner, and I catch the ball. And when I catch the ball, I kid you not, it's like the Red Sea. It just opens up, and I can see the end zone. So I'm running towards the end zone, and I've got one kid to beat to get to the end zone, and it's a tied game, and we would go on to the second round of playoffs. And I got one kid to meet, and so I'm running at him, and I didn't realize one of my friends, he was running down the sideline trying to block people and like have me go down the sideline, but the middle of the field was wide open. So I was just running down the middle of the field, and I had one kid to beat, and I went and I juked him. Well, when I juked him, I stepped over his tackle, but when he tackled me, he grabbed my so I stepped over him with my right foot, and he grabbed my left foot. But when he grabbed my left foot, he grabbed it and twisted with it, like he rotated his whole body. So it made my whole leg rotate with it. Oh, and so it snaps my ACL.
Oh my gosh.
Snaps my ACL, and all I feel is just like immediate pop, and I drop straight to the ground, and I'm screaming, and I'm like, oh, I'm in so much pain, I'm in so much pain. And so before that I've had patellar tendon problems, and so like I would just put a band on my patellar tendon and push through it and be fine. So after that happened, they helped me off the field, and I'm like, I go to the trainer, I'm like, it's just a patellar tendon problem, like it's not my ACL, I'll be fine. I don't know if it popped or not. Like, just let me play. So then a series goes by, and I go out to play on defense. And at the time, I was playing outside linebacker. And so one play I didn't really have to move much, and they got the ball down. Well, the next play I was supposed to blitz, and I went to blitz. And the moment I went to put all my weight on my foot to push off and get past the line of scrimmage, I dropped and fell right there on the ground. And I knew it was bad because the kid that was supposed to block me, he was in his pass set. And he looked at me, he said, "You good, 33?" And I said, "Nah, I don't think I'm going to make it this game." Wow. And so I got up and had to hobble off the field. And that's how I tore my ACL.
Oh, man.
Yeah, it was pretty rough. And then that same game, my best friend dislocated his shoulder and tore up his labrum.
Wow.
Yeah, it was a hard fought game.
Yeah. When you're walking off the field on that injury, what's going through your mind?
Why couldn't I beat that guy? More or less, is this like is a surreal moment? Like, is this really it? Like this really happened? and I can't. It's not something I can push through because I've had injuries where you can just push through and bear the pain, but I physically cannot. It's kind of like something that stopped me. I wasn't used to, like, I've had obstacles before, but not something where I couldn't physically push through it and just grit it out.
And you had a scholarship lined up.
Yeah, so I had UCO was at the game, Northwestern was at the game. A lot of the Division II schools that wanted me were at the game, and so then after that it was kind of like, well, he's hurt, so they kind of dropped off and fell off. So then that's when the JUCO route really opened up for me, and even then it was kind of difficult because there's not very many. There's only one JUCO in Oklahoma, but then there's a lot of JUCOs in Texas. And so being from that small school, just getting publicity out, and then not making it far in playoffs is what, in my opinion, really held me back from being able to get the taller, like Liberty, Division I, the Raging Cajuns, people like that, offers like that. And so when the JUCO routes kind of opened up, I got offered from Cisco in Texas, and then NEO in Miami, Oklahoma. And I had went to Cisco, liked the coaches, and kind of seen it, liked the place. But then I went to NEO, and the facilities were really nice. And they had, at the time, the degree I was chasing was an engineering degree. And so I really liked that they had my degree as well as the facilities they had.
That's amazing, because a lot of athletes don't think about the degree. They think about, hey, I'm going to play sports.
Right.
But you're focused on, hey, if I go to play sports and get this degree, might be the ticket.
Right.
Yeah. So Cisco was the one that had the engineering degree.
Well, no, NEO was.
NEO was.
Yes.
Okay.
Cisco only had a law enforcement program, but at the time I was really focused on trying to get an engineering degree.
Yeah. Your dad was in law enforcement, or I don't know if he still is or not.
Yeah, he still is.
Okay. Yeah. Tell him thank you for his service, man.
We'll
Appreciate it.
We'll do.
So you went to NEO. Talk us through that experience, because you had to actually recuperate somehow, right?
Yeah.
A lot of training.
Yeah, a lot of training. So after it was like, I tore my ACL, I got surgery, and then at that time it really became like just a fight to get back. Like, okay, this happened, let's make the best of it. Like, this can't stop me. And so really, really hit rehab hard, and was really trying to gain my speed back and my mobility. And that was two of the biggest, and my strength. Those three were probably the biggest things that I wanted to gain back. And so going through that surgery, you lose a lot of muscle mass, and mass in that leg particular. Like, even today, my left leg is smaller than my right leg, simply just because it's not as far behind, but it's just still slightly behind the other leg. And so I was working, and I was really trying to get back in time to at least try and run track. And that was a huge goal. And so I worked hard, and then we finally got back, and I was able to run in the state meet. I was able to make a few practices and run the state meet in the 4x1. And then that summer really, really hit working out and training hard. And I would say all the way up till probably to June, I was running with my brace on, and we were kind of doing drills, and I was like, I can't move in this brace. I have to take this brace off. And so I took the brace off, and then throughout that whole fall, I really, really, I guess I would say, built the trust in my knee, because when because now sometimes it'll hurt, but then you would be, oh, am I going to hurt it? Like, am I going to hurt it too much?
Right.
And so that kind of fall really went through a transition where, like, my friends were playing and I wasn't getting to travel. So I really was just, okay, let me learn the playbook. Let me work on it. Let me work on my leg. Let me work on my strength. And then it was close enough to my other friends where I could go hang out with my friends when they went to away games or stuff like that. And so it was really a humbling journey, as well as it really, like, what's the word? Made me hungry for what was to come. Yeah. And so in the spring, that's when I was like, okay, now it's my time to shine. And so we got to the spring. I did really, really well. And we get to the next fall, and I'm starting the next fall, and we're playing, and we're doing decent, but we're not executing on all the levels we need to. And then we get to the end of the season. And once we get to the end of the season, my biggest thing was I needed a pick. I needed the interception and a pick six that would really, really sell my tape. Because in college, it's a lot about what you can put on film.
Sure.
And so tried. And all the teams we played against, all they wanted to do was run the ball. And so I never got the pick I wanted, but I got a lot of good downhill run film.
Mm-hmm.
And so we got to now the recruiting's picking up. And so now I was talking to a lot of people, but the biggest thing was during my recruiting process was the wait. I didn't want to miss out on something trying to wait for something better. And I also didn't want to go because I could have went back in the spring. I could have came back to NEO in the spring in 2022 and then or in 2023 came back in the spring and stayed and then tried to leave and go somewhere. The only problem with that I thought was once you leave in the spring and try and join somewhere in the summer, you only have the summer to learn the playbook and then you go straight to fall camp.
Gotcha.
And so it's some teams your playbook is this thick. And so learning all that in the summer and then being able to execute it on the dime in fall camp was really hard.
Mm-hmm.
And so my biggest, and all my friends were leaving in December, and I was like, I'm not going to be solo out here, be the only one. And so that's when I made the decision to go ahead and go to Western Illinois. And funny enough, one of my best friends got offered there as well. So we went together. It was like a package deal. And so I was like, he's going, I going, what could be wrong? Like what could be the worst thing that could happen?
Yeah.
And so that's how I got to Western.
Okay. How's your mindset different from your high school days of training to your collegiate days of training?
I'd say they're more focused.
Mm.
But when I was training in high school, it was to get to Division I. That was I want to be able to go play Division I. I want to go be able to play Division I. And now my mindset training is not only do I want to try and get to the NFL, but it's also I want to get better today.
Mm.
Then I want to get better tomorrow. Then I want to get better the next day. Take it day by day, because if like one of my coaches at the school, he said that the biggest thing is get better day by day and start building brick by brick.
Mm.
Because you can't expect to jump 50 paces if you can't focus on one pace at a time.
Yeah.
And I really like that because, okay, did I get better today? Our biggest thing is, did I inspire somebody? Did I encourage somebody? And then, what was the third one? Did I inspire, courage, and influence? Did I influence somebody?
Okay.
And so I really like that because, okay, I'm going to go hit the field to get some extra work. My roommate's Marcus. Hey, Marcus, do you want to go to the field? And so then I'm a DB and I play a little bit of linebacker, but just because I'm a DB and a linebacker doesn't mean I can't work on pass rush drills with him. And like he likes to get a lot of extra running in. I personally hate conditioning. I'm not a big runner guy.
Sure.
Even though I have to do more of the running than anyone else, besides like the skill kids or whatever. But he like, well, I'm gonna do some gassers. I'm like, of course you are. I don't really want to, but okay, yeah, I'll go do some with you.
Yeah.
And so I like the day by day and take it piece by piece, because anything can happen, and you just kind of take it. If you take it day by day, you can never have a bad week.
Right. How do you encourage someone outside of football?
Find something you love, and then don't quit, no matter what. And it doesn't mean that you have to, okay, I want to do this. I'm all in. I'm selling my entire life and this is what I'm doing. What's wrong with, okay, let me buy a little piece here.
Mm.
Work, buy a next piece here. And just putting things brick by brick, because one of my biggest problems is I want it all now and I want to do it and I just want to jump and dive in. But if you just build brick by brick, it can do a lot. And it's a lot more obtainable, I feel like, that way.
Mm-hmm.
So like if you have dreams of owning a company, okay, well, first, do you know how the business works? Do you know how to communicate to people? Do you know how to lead? Do you know how to communicate with different personalities? Because introverts and extroverts don't communicate the same. And so just being able to navigate that, I think, is huge.
Yeah. Yeah. Was there any doubt in your mind after you tore your ACL that you would not play collegiate football?
Yeah. Well, I was laying in my bed, and they put you on this little machine, and it moves your leg. And I was sitting there, and I was like, is this really it? Like, am I done playing sports? And it kind of got to a moment where it's like, you've done it for so long, why stop? Like, what do you gain from stopping? But then it was also another thing was, well, am I going to be able to go play somewhere? And that was kind of like my biggest. That was during when I tore my ACL and I was looking for places to play, like the JUCOs, and I was like, I don't have anywhere to play, so maybe I'll just go walk on somewhere. And so that was a thought that really went through my head, but I can't say that it lasted long. People are like, oh yeah, he's not going anywhere. Oh, he's a Division II guy, and it's like, as long as you believe in yourself, it don't matter what people think.
Right.
Because as long as you put the work in, you'll see the results.
I love it, man. What was your attitude like when the coach from Miami, Oklahoma, said, "Hey, we're gonna take you on"?
I was like, all right, let's get to work.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was excited, and I was like, all right, let's get to work. Let's win. And that's how my attitude has been at every institution I've been at. It's just, all right, like I'm not real. I'll be vocal, but I'm not the kid that's screaming and yelling all the time. I'm gonna come in, I'm gonna work, I'll encourage and yell with my guys, but I'm a big believer in lead by example. And not lead by speaking. Yeah. So if I'm late, that's a bad look on the leadership of the team or whatever. And so, but like I can't also. So then another thing is, but once you start leading by example, other people will lead with you. And so then if you have a team full of leaders, that's like, oh yeah, that's on me. Yeah. Like that plays on me. My bad. We'll get it right. Instead of, you did this wrong. You need to fix this. Everyone's now becoming accountable for their actions rather than pointing fingers, which I think is huge.
That's good. That's an amazing mindset, man. You're going to go far in life.
Thank you.
Yeah, for sure. What was the transition like to Western Illinois? Right? How was that? How did that make you feel when?
Grateful. I was really, really, really grateful. Because like coming from any JUCO and then going Division I. Yeah. The facilities, the living conditions, I mean, just the place you're living in, night and day difference. And it was a bunch of fun. And like now we think back and we talk about, me and my best friends, we'll talk about like, oh, what we were doing or all the things we were doing. And when we talk about it, we're like, we really were just hanging out in the dorms. Like we weren't doing anything crazy or going on crazy trips or anything. We were just hanging out, having fun, and we just spent a lot of time together. Like, because at any other, there's a dorm, it's just all football players. Okay. So like we would have wrestling matches, we would have all kinds of fun stuff, and we were just in the dorm and really, really grew together. And then now it's like I got my own space, I've got my own room. I have a roommate, but I have my own room, I have my own bathroom. I don't have to get up and share a shower with 40 people. It's really, I can cook. I have a stove. I'm not cooking everything in an air fryer or a microwave. And then I've got like places to eat. Like we have a Chick-fil-A and a Qdoba. I don't have to go to the caf and like, oh, what is this? I don't know what I'm eating kind of deal. And I'm just truly grateful because like, and I think it's funny because if you speak to a lot of guys that went JUCO, you're like, bro, this ain't nothing. Like, you have no idea. This compared to the JUCO life is night and day difference. Because it's real life. It's really a grind. And a lot of people don't make it out. Yeah. And so once you make that transition, you're just like, oh, this is awesome. But you got to be really careful to not become complacent. Yeah. In what you got.
Man, I love it. I love your mindset of grit of having a strong attitude and grateful, man. That's amazing. And how old are you?
21.
21. That's legit.
Thank you.
Wow, man. Well, I will tell you this. I remember when you were playing high school football and your mom would always take off on Fridays to come watch you. They would travel everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
She's always been proud of you, man. And I think it's awesome that as busy as she was at the time, she would make the time to come cheer you on.
And I was really happy for that. And it really brings like a real sense of family. So I'm a big family guy. Like just this week, even though I'm going on vacation Wednesday, I have tried to make sure to get lunch with my aunts. And then after this, I'm getting a lunch with, I guess what you'd call one of my uncles.
Mm-hmm.
And so like family, I've lost a few loved ones along the way. And it's one of the reasons why I play football. And since then, I really realized how important family was. So having and my dad's got a big family, so having everybody at Thanksgiving is huge. Or having everybody at Christmas is huge for me because one, I'm 9 hours away. And so when I come back, I get to see everybody. We talk about everything. I get to see my nieces, or not my nieces, but my cousins. And like seeing my younger ones that are they're in high school now. They're playing basketball. Now they're having an opportunity to go play collegiate and stuff like that is just huge because it's like, hey, don't do this. I've went through this. Try go this route. So you can potentially go higher than what I did. And so that's huge. Or like getting to come back and see my cousin. I just had dinner with my cousin Trey, and he's like my brother. We were a year apart, and that's who we grew up together. Like we'd have family events. We'd be like, hey, can Trey spend the night? Or hey, can I spend the night at Trey's house? And so we really, really grew up, and he's been like my little brother since forever. And I think we went to Cane's, and we're gonna have like dinner and just have like a quick chat for an hour or so, and it turned into like a 3-hour conversation of just talking about life.
That's good, man. How do you enjoy life?
I try to have fun. I'm a big experience guy now. Like since I went, I would say since we went from Sweden and came back, I want to, I would say that would be my biggest turning point is I want to experience things. Because memories, that's all you have. Yeah. Like at the end of the day, you can have $1 million, but if you have no memories, what'd you do with the $1 million? Mm-hmm. And so I think memories are huge. Yeah. And so I really like, if we want to go do something like, hey, let's go to Iowa and hang out. All right, let's go to Iowa. Or like, hey, let's go hang out in Chicago. Okay, I ain't never hung out in Chicago. Let's go hang out in Chicago. So that's really big. Like I want to go and experience things.
Where are you going Wednesday?
I'm going to we're going to Clearwater in Florida.
Oh wow. You and your family?
Me and my one of my best friends.
Okay. Driving or flying?
Flying.
Okay. I've never been there. You gotta send pictures.
I will. I've never been to Florida, so this will be my first time. Oh really? Yeah, it'll be my first time going to Florida.
Wow.
So I'm super excited. I'm stoked.
Yeah, that's awesome. How's Sweden compared to the United States?
I would say it's a lot more. I would say Sweden is an introvert, and I would say Oklahoma is an extrovert. So like people are more open and I wouldn't say friendly, but seem more friendly, if that makes sense.
In Oklahoma?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
And then I would say in Sweden, it's more brought back until you go to like into your family side. Okay. So like if you're in the mall and stuff, people kind of move like they move around like you would in Chicago, or not Chicago, but like New York. Gotcha. People kind of just brush by you and don't really say anything and keep going. Yeah. Well, here in Oklahoma, you're going in the aisle, you're going to grab something, and you go in front of someone, you automatically say just excuse me and grab it and keep going. Yeah. But in Sweden, it's not really like that. They'll kind of wait. They'll sit back and let you look, and then until you're done looking, then go and grab it. So I feel like it's more reserved back. Gotcha. Until you go to like the family side, and then it's just, at least in my families, it's just what I would assume is normal. Okay. And just big open arms. Oh, give me a hug. I haven't seen you in forever, kind of deal.
What does it mean to be an American to you?
Freedom. There's a lot of different freedoms that we have, and not a lot of people get those freedoms. And kind of really to be able to do what you want when you want, I think is huge. Because like in certain countries you can't you can't do this or you can't do that, or you got to have a permit, or, oh no, that's not accepted here. Here you can kind of just, you can buy some land in Oklahoma and do what you want, and no one's going to tell you what to do.
Mm-hmm.
Which I think is huge.
Yeah.
Because I kind of I like being able to do what I want.
Yeah.
It's not restricted, I guess. So I guess it's basically the freedom.
I like it. Are you into bull riding or horseback riding?
Yeah, I'm still into calf roping.
Okay.
I sold my calf roping horse before I went to college, and then now I'm kind of back into the what would be like the back into the swing of trying to line up when I graduate, having a horse, getting another horse so I can start calf roping once I'm done.
Wow.
Done with sports or whatever. That way I can get back into it, because that's really big. I really like it. It's I guess it's my adrenaline kick, just like football is, I guess I would say.
That's awesome, man. Yeah.
But I love it.
No, that's great. Aspirations for the NFL?
Yeah, so I really, my biggest goal is to be able to make it to the NFL and then play for 5 years and retire.
Just 5?
Yeah, because I feel like 5 is a sweet spot where you can really play your best years, but then you don't destroy your body.
I got you.
But now if the money's calling at the year 5 mark,
sure,
and I'm making $100 million, I'm like, what's one more year? But I really want to play until my body can't play no more, where I won't damage it to where I can't do, like I said, the calf roping once I retire. Yeah. Because that would be big, and I kind of want to have like my own cows or whatever and have my own little farm.
Yeah, that's awesome. There's quite a few NFL players that are retiring after 5 years nowadays, it seems like, you know.
Then you can get in, you can really establish yourself in the first 2 to 3, and then you can sign a 3-year contract and be done and get out. Yeah.
Favorite NFL team?
49ers.
Heartbreak Hotel.
Man.
Last 2 out of 4 years.
That's what I was just going to say. Every time. Oh, you can't get away from it. Man. Oh, I was so sick.
I bet.
I was so sick.
I was thinking about your mom when the 49ers played, and I was like, oh, man.
Oh, I was so sick. Oh, man. Because that was my team. I was like, oh, yeah. Because every year, if like people ask me, I'm like, oh, we're going to the Super Bowl.
Sure. I love it.
I'm not worried about it. Yeah. Oh, we're going to the Super Bowl. We're going to the Super Bowl. And sure enough, we'll make it. Boom, 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 boom. Or like last year when they had to play the Eagles in the semifinals. That was the Super Bowl game because the Eagles were going to kill the other team. And so it was like they just played the Super Bowl game. Basically, that was their loss. And that could have been a Super Bowl win right there.
Yeah. Are you a Brock Purdy fan?
I am. I wasn't, but I was on the fence. But during the Super Bowl game, I really like how what we call is getting into his bag. And so he really showed a lot of different things that I hadn't really seen before. So like he was getting out the pocket and running. And that's what I liked a lot, because a mobile quarterback is hard to defend, basically, just from a defensive standpoint. Because if you got a quarterback that'll sit in the pocket, you cover up his guys, he's going to sit there and eventually the D-line's going to work and they're going to sack him. But if you got a mobile quarterback, now you have 2 threats. If he can throw well or if he can run well. If he can throw well and run well, if you let him sit in the pocket too long, then you always have to have somebody to basically like pocket protection or QB spy. Because if he leaves the pocket, you got to go get him. Right. Because he's going to go gain a first down. Right. And you can do that for three drives, and then he throws a 40-yard bomb and it's a touchdown. Yeah. But if you got a guy that just sits in the pocket the whole time, you don't really have to worry about that. So you can devote more people to the pass protection than you can the run detection or the run protection. Gotcha. So that's huge. But once he started really getting out of the pocket, and it seemed like he's just developing. And I think he's gonna go far. Yeah. And I like the underdog story. Yeah. Mr. Irrelevant to being super relevant. Exactly. Yeah. And then going against what I would say is probably the best quarterback in the league right now, and holding your own. Yeah. I mean, what else? What more could you ask for? That's true. You ever thought about getting into coaching? Yeah, I think I thought about it a little bit, and I think I'll be able to like coach my son's team. Okay. But I don't know if I'd really go into the full like coaching college football or coaching high school football, because I don't know. I just don't feel like it's really not really my calling.
Mm.
I'm more called to like, which is actually kind of funny, law enforcement.
Okay.
So I had changed my degree. So I got my AA in engineering.
Okay.
And I was like, okay, I'm tired of calculus. This is not fun. I'm tired of physics. So then my backup was, oh, let me try law enforcement.
Okay.
Well, it's also one of the reasons why I chose Western was because they have a fantastic law enforcement program.
Mm.
So I got into that program and loved it. And going through it now, and I'm in a stage where now I'm learning about what is it? It's a behavioral analyst.
Mm.
And so like why like people have people are within 8 traits or what is it? 8 traits or 8 characteristics. That's their personality, and they can be interchanged. But certain things match up with certain things, and that's why people act a certain way. So perceivers and judgers, they're the opposites. Judgers are normally on time and really like closure and order. Perceivers are more I wouldn't say more outgoing, but go with the flow. Don't really need closure. Kind of messy a little bit.
Mm.
So if you have a judger and a perceiver together, it could be like husband and wife. The husband is the perceiver. He always throws his clothes on the ground. Oh, he never wants to clean up his side of the house or
Gotcha.
his room. Or the hamper's right there. Why can't you throw the clothes in the hamper? Because his wife's a judger, so she'll always want the house clean or always want to make the bed, and so that it can just cause conflicts like that. And so once I learned that and really digged into that, you can really like start to see, well, oh, this is why I fight so much with this person, or oh, this is why we have these arguments.
Man,
so it's right, and it's kind of cool because you can type a person, and then you can tell them things about their life, and they're like, whoa, how do you know? You don't really know me like that. How did you understand that? And so you take that into the interviewing aspect of things when you're interrogating someone. And so now if you're an extrovert, you bring in an extrovert interviewer, because extroverts and introverts don't like each other. Because introverts are like, oh, this guy talks all the time. Why does he ever shut up? But you bring 2 introverts, and then they'll both sit quietly, but they don't ask questions, and then you can kind of pull information out of people without the whole TV torturing them, pulling fingernails. Like you can get information from somebody that they wouldn't necessarily normally tell you, simply because you've established what we call a baseline. And then once they act out of the baseline, it's indications of deception. And so then you can kind of put the what I like to call put the fire on them and then pull it off, and then put the fire on and just allow them to tell on themselves. Gotcha.
Sound like an FBI profile, man.
Yeah, and that's one of my teacher was he was in the BA. Is the BAU? No, not he was no. Is either BAU or BAP? I think he was in the BAU though.
Man, well, how about practice on me? We've met before. We've had lunch. We follow each other on social media. We text each other.
So I would say you're an extrovert. But then do you have for instance, for this this podcast, would you say you had a lot of lists of what you wanted to talk about, or are you kind of just going with the flow?
I think there's a mix. I do have a list of questions. However, I like to go with the flow because it's your story.
Okay. When you wake up, do you have a routine?
100%.
Because that would make you a sensor.
Okay.
So that would means you like order and you like to do things, and it's a repetition thing. Yeah. And so then I would say, so you got an extrovert, a sensor, so would you say when you look at problems, do you look at them analytically, or do you more look at them as emotionally?
Analytically.
So when for example, when you're trying to do something, do you try and include everyone's opinion and make sure everyone's happy, or do you kind of just tell them, hey, this is why I chose this, because this is this?
I try to include everyone.
So right now you're in between a thinker and a feeler. Would you say you express your feelings a lot, like you wear your heart on your sleeve, or you're more reserved and you sit back and kind of watch the room kind of deal?
I'll sit back and watch the room.
I would think you're a thinker, and then as far as, do you make your bed every day?
100%.
So then I would put you in a J, a J. So then like now, which is kind of crazy. So I could say that so like if you're in class, like when you're in class, you weren't really the kid that would raise their hand and say, you would like raise your hand and say the answer. You would more or less sit back and take in all the information that was happening in class.
Correct.
And whenever something bad or something would go wrong, rather than lashing out or exploding, you would sit back and think about, okay, why did this happen and how can I fix this?
Mm-hmm.
And then as well as I could say that on the extrovert side, you're not afraid to talk to people. You're not afraid to go up and talk to someone, ask them how their day was, or just have a conversation with people.
That's true.
And so now I can say that I know your room's probably always clean. Your routine in the morning probably doesn't change.
Yeah.
And another one that's kind of crazy is that you don't wear your heart on your sleeve.
Yeah.
And so you're more what's the word? I don't want to say closed off, but reserved.
Mm. Yeah.
Sound right?
Sound right, man. Kyle, this guy's good. So he's going to own his own calf roping team. He's going to coach this next calf roping team. He's going to play 5 years or plus in the NFL. Then you're going to just be the chief of police somewhere. I mean, dude, you got the whole world in front of you, man.
Thank you.
This is awesome. This is fantastic.
Those are just the goals, and just to keep going.
Yeah. Yeah. What's your favorite food? We talked about food earlier. What's your favorite food, and what do you like to cook?
I think I really love barbecue. Since being up north and not being in any like barbecue places where I go to school, really love barbecue.
Okay.
But I'm terrible at barbecue. Like I can't. My friends can cook. Well, I shouldn't say. Well, my friends can cook ribs and stuff, and like I can grill a good steak, or I can grill a good pork steak, or stuff like that. But like just making a rack of ribs that fall off the bone, haven't got to that expertise yet. But a good set of barbecue can't beat.
Man, you like brisket?
Yeah, love it.
Ooh. So I've cooked 3 briskets, and I'm 2 for 3.
Yeah.
And out of those 2, there's no such thing as perfection, but they're pretty decent.
Yeah.
So next time I make some, before we have our kid, I'm going to have you over.
All right, sweet.
Well, it'll probably have to be in the summer because you'll be back in the summer.
Right.
Yeah, so by that time, I have mastered it just a little bit more.
Perfect.
Yeah, yeah. And I've been reading about smoked ribs, and so if they fall off the bone, they're too done.
Yeah. So
you want to have it where it's just kind of you're able to
barely pull it.
Yeah.
I was talking to my uncle or whatever, and we were like, you shouldn't need teeth to eat the barbecue.
Yeah.
And that was a huge thing.
Yeah, that's true. That's true, man. Favorite linebacker, collegiately, professionally?
I'd probably say Ray Lewis.
Oh, man. Back in the day with the Ravens.
Yeah.
Okay.
He would probably be my favorite linebacker. And then my favorite safety would be Ronnie Lott.
Oh, man. Another 49er.
So, and like both guys really, really play with a lot of heart. And what I would say, they don't play with their body in mind. So they're willing to put their body on the line for the team.
Sure.
Because Ronnie Lott wasn't some massive, yoked up guy, but he was one of the only people to stop the top running back that was just running through people's face, simply because he just threw his whole body into him and didn't have any remorse for himself.
Yeah.
And I like that a lot.
Wow. What about favorite player in your position?
Favorite nickel when I was coming out of high school or safety would be Deshaun Elliott.
Okay.
And so I liked his little highlight tape, and I had always watched his highlight tape in high school before I'd go play. And what I'd do was I would listen to him and watch him play, but I would more or less put myself in his shoes. It's like, okay, he made this play. Okay, he made this play. And so it kind of turned into envisioning now not really watching him and his highlights, watching my future highlights.
Yeah. Wow. If you could have coffee and conversation with 3 people, dead or alive, who would they be?
Ooh. Dead or alive?
Mm-hmm.
That's hard. I'd have coffee with my grandpa. Because he passed away when I was young, so I never really got to build a deep relationship as far as like communicating and stuff. Like I have good memories of him, but never really got to pick his brain about certain things. So I'd say my grandpa, then Malcolm X.
Okay.
And I'd probably say Martin Luther King.
Yeah.
Because it had 2 different views on the same problem.
Gotcha.
And I would personally like to dig deeper on their side of the views rather than what people said their views were.
Gotcha.
And how they felt about certain things.
Yeah. So you could have coffee and you could profile them.
Yeah, pretty much.
What are 2 questions you wish people would ask Fredrik, but no one ever asked him?
I don't know. I'm not really See, I'm like you. I don't really wear my feelings. I don't wear my feelings on my sleeve, so I don't. I guess my why I started playing football, and why you didn't give up.
So let's answer them. Why did you start playing football, and why did you not give up?
So I got I started when I was little or whatever, but I really started playing. Like football meant a lot to me whenever I was playing, and like I said, I had the loved ones pass away.
Yeah.
And so it became more than football. It became the name on the back of my jersey, and it became I want to make them proud.
Gotcha.
So not only am I playing for them, and I'm also playing for the Lord, but I want people to be able to know that Greenhoward has meaning behind it. And like there's what I think is funny, I want to name my son Fredrik Jr. just because I tell everyone he's going to be Fredrik II, and that sounds like royalty.
Yeah.
And so I really want to put a lot of meaning behind my name. So like for instance, if you went and looked up Greenhoward, it would be NFL prospect Fredrik Greenhoward. And I feel like that holds a lot of weight. I want my last name to hold a lot of weight, no matter who looks at it.
Gotcha. So why did you not give up?
I made it this far. Why stop? Honestly. And there was times where it's like I'm ready to give up. I'm done with this. And then I really dug deep down. I've already destroyed my body playing the game. I've already my body has injuries and stuff that most 20-year-old kids that are in a business class don't have. And you've made it to where you wanted to be when you were little. Why give up? You worked this hard for what?
I like it.
So don't stop.
So what I'm hearing is I didn't make it this far just to get this far.
Exactly.
Man, I like it, dude.
And it was kind of interesting because when I was a kid, I never really it wasn't like when I was a kid, you asked me what I wanted to be, I told you I wanted to be a professional bull rider.
Okay.
It wasn't, I want to go play in the NFL.
Yeah.
And then as I got older, it was like, I want to be a cop. And then once I got to high school, it was, I really want to go play Division I. And then after I met my goal. Once I met my goal, I was like, why not take this as far as I can? Like, I want to be able to play at the highest level possible. And so now it's currently just gradually kept going and going.
Yeah. What do you miss about being away from home?
The food. Man, the food. It's nothing like the same.
Yeah.
It's like a night and day difference. And like when I come back, I have certain like restaurants I gotta go hit. I gotta go eat this. I gotta go do that because I miss the food.
Yeah. What do you miss about your parents?
The community, I would say. Just like how their day was doing, or just to talk to them. We try and FaceTime and stuff like that, and keep it up. But it's not the same as just kind of being in the presence, or like I'll have to call my mom. Hey, how do I cook this recipe, or certain stuff like that. Or call my dad and see what he's up to or whatever. Yeah. But it's not really the same. Like I guess making those memories, like I said.
Love it, man. How are your parents doing?
They're doing good. They're doing good.
Mom's still pretty busy? Yeah. Dad's still pretty busy?
Yeah, he's kind of taking a little bit back, but now I think he's going to probably start picking back up again.
All right. Is he still going on evening walks with your mom?
I don't know. I haven't talked to him about it. I'm going to ask him.
Come on, coach. Yeah, coach him up. Say, hey, Dad, go enjoy the sunset walks with Mom. Yeah.
I'll tease him about push-ups and stuff. I'm like, I bet I could do more push-ups than you. Yeah. And he's like, oh, whatever. You don't ever want to.
No challenge, huh? Yeah. What are you most proud of, man?
My journey. I would probably say my journey, for sure. Because coming out of Luther, I'm one of two people that have made it to the Division I level. Wow. And the last guy that made it Division I, it was 20 to 25 years ago.
That's amazing. Yeah. Dang. What piece of advice would you give yourself, your younger self, 15, 14-year-old?
I've thought about this a lot. Okay. So like me and my best friend, I thought about moving schools. Like if we would have moved schools, how far we would have went in football. But I think my biggest advice would have been when I was that young to I wouldn't say take football seriously, but to be more involved in football and not just play football because it's fun. Yeah. Because I could have became more developed if I pushed it further than I am now.
Yeah. So now that you know that, you can keep pushing yourself and developing yourself, from what I understand.
And that's what I think is huge. Yeah. Because development, if you can develop and become masters at the fundamentals, the sky's the limit. Because everything at the end of the day comes back to the fundamentals.
Yeah. That's good. What would you regret in the next 5 years if you don't do it?
I don't think I could say anything because I live my life without no regrets. So everything I do, I try not to regret. And I don't really have any regrets because everything's been a learning experience.
I'm talking to Bruce Lee over here, Kyle. This is good, man. How do you want to be remembered?
As a hard worker, someone that came in, punched the clock, came in, came out. Yeah. And someone you can depend on.
Yeah. That's awesome, man. Well, thank you for your time. Yeah. For coming on the show and sharing your journey so far with us, because your journey is never ending and it's going to be freaking bright.
Thank you.
Yeah, I appreciate it, man. Thank you so much, brother.
I'm going to stand. I won't be seated. Gonna hold my head up high and stay undefeated. Defining moments on this pod, 'cause I'm American by the grace of my good God. I'm American by the grace of my good God. I'm American by the grace of